There is an overwhelming majority of the internet that loves Bluey, and for a good reason too. It has heart-wrenching stories, it's funny, it has likable characters, and it is more mature than most shows aimed at toddlers. However, due to the series being aimed at toddlers, there are certain episodes that got pulled from being aired in certain countries or were never finished, due to how mature they are. Like Dead Baby, for example, or one of the scenes from Muppets or Teasing, to name a few. Some of the bannings or censorships do make a bit of sense, but some are just plain ridiculous. And it's just people being oversensitive over a show aimed at toddlers. This would lead me to discuss what I wanted to talk about, which was a Bluey episode that didn't get past the scripting stage, due to me losing the script on my desk. How do I know about this? Well, I actually work with the BBC Kids network as a script editor for a majority of the episodes. Due to how well written most of the scripts are, I usually just add a few small corrections in them that need some minor tweaking to make the dialogue flow more naturally in some scenes. Especially since the voice actors are children who can struggle with reading certain words due to their limited vocabulary. We were right in the middle of animating for Season's 2 last few episodes, and we did work on a bit of the first few episodes of Season 3. We wanted Season 3 to be much more mature in terms of its messaging, and for it to be much more inclusive so that everyone can watch and relate to at least one character. I got a few scripts that were written by Joe Brum and a few other staff for Season 3. And one of them immediately grabbed my attention due to the title. The title was called Money. It seemed like one of the writers for the script had a hard time figuring out a working title for the episode. Out of curiosity, I took a look at the script. This is what I remembered when reading said script. The episode starts off with an establishing shot of a supermarket. It doesn't say which one specifically, before it cuts to the Healer family and Muffin shopping. Muffin then announces to the family she has to go to the toilet. Bandit then sighs and takes Muffin to the bathroom. The next scene was supposed to cut to Bandit waiting outside of the bathroom while Muffin is heard causing shenanigans as per usual. She actually managed to miss the toilet completely. She is shouting various things like,
"Uncle Bandit, I pee on the floor!"
Bandit goes into the bathroom to help Muffin wash her hands before setting her down on the sink and telling her to stay there while he cleans up the floor. The moment Bandit becomes occupied with cleaning, Muffin goes onto the floor and proceeds to run off to the water fountain area to get a drink. When she gets to the water fountain, a mysterious figure approaches Muffin from behind. The figure was revealed to be an elderly pug. She asked Muffin if she could have a hug, and said she could give Muffin a quarter. Muffin stops and thinks before she says,
"No! Give me $5!
The lady obliges and gives her $5 before Muffin runs off. She goes over to Bandit, who was done cleaning the floor, and shouts,
Uncle Bandit, a nice lady gave me $5 dues!
Bandit freezes and tells Muffin she shouldn't take money from strangers. Muffin elaborates that the lady let her have it. Bandit then tells Muffin that they are going to go back to where Bluey and Chili are, and that they are going to have a talk about why you shouldn't accept stuff from strangers in the car. The next scene took place in the Healer family's car. Muffin is sitting in the middle seat while holding on to her $5 that she got from the old lady. Bandit explains to Muffin that she shouldn't take things from strangers, go anywhere with a stranger, or even talk to a stranger. Muffin gets it but states that she will take gifts from strangers if it's money or candy, or whatever she is interested in. Bandit groans in exasperation due to their conversation going nowhere. Bluey and Bingo then have an idea to teach Muffin by turning it into a game. Bandit is interested in the idea. Cue the title screen. The next scene had the Healer family at their home while they are getting their game set up in the playroom. They decide on who their personas would be, with Bluey being a mom named Rhonda, Bingo being her Snowdrop persona, while Muffin is the big sister, Chili as the shopkeeper who is secretly a police officer, and Bandit as the stranger who is self-proclaimed as handsome. I don't remember the name of his persona, possibly Bird. The game started with Bluey, Muffin, and Bingo entering the playroom while pushing a toy shopping cart. Muffin then says she wants to ride in the shopping cart. Bluey states that Muffin is supposed to go to the bathroom, but Muffin says she didn't have to go. Bluey states that it's just to pretend before Muffin wanders off. He runs into Bandit's persona, who offers her money. Muffin would snatch the money out of Bandit's hands. Bandit tries getting it back, which causes a commotion. Bluey then goes over to Muffin and explains that she is supposed to decline the offer, before Muffin comments that money is money. Bluey facepalms before explaining that she has to say no to the stranger. Chili tells Bandit that he shouldn't have used the money in his wallet in the game. Bandit defends himself by saying that he didn't think she would take it. Muffin says that she understands before they start over from the beginning. Everything is similar to how it happened in the first attempt, but instead of Bandit using his money, he gets a bag of jelly beans. He offers it to Muffin while posing as the stranger, which prompts Muffin to rip the bag out of Bandit's hands and shove the entire bag of jelly beans down her gullet before being stopped by the rest of the Healer family. Bluey says that Muffin shouldn't accept candy from strangers. Muffin tries making a point about them being jelly beans, but Muffin and Bingo shoot it down before they start the game over from the beginning. This time, a Bandit decided to use a toy to see if Muffin would take it. Due to the toy being Cat Squad themed, Muffin would rip the toy out of Bandit's hands and start playing with it. Bandit then says he's out of ideas. Chili then tells Bandit to offer something she wouldn't want. Bandit then takes the advice only for it to backfire in his face when it was revealed Muffin did want the item Bandit offered to her. That item being a book. Muffin would be opening and closing the book, making chomping noises like it's a monster eating. Chili then decides to be honest to Muffin. She explains to Muffin that she shouldn't take things from strangers because they could try taking her from her family. This immediately makes Muffin panic, but she then realizes what the rest of the Healer family are trying to tell her. They restart the game and everything goes according to plan until Bandit offers her some random gift. Muffin rips the gift out of his hand and then runs off with it, prompting Bandit to chase her from behind. Bandit then stops to catch his breath, only to find the Muffin is nowhere to be seen. He tries looking for her until she suddenly appears from behind and starts whacking Bandit with one of those plastic baseball bats, while screaming bloody murder. Bandit is on the ground in pain while the rest of the family try getting Muffin off of him. That was until the doorbell rings. Bandit tells Chili to get it so he can lay on the floor until he stops hurting. Chili obliges only to see Uncle Stripe. He asks everyone if Muffin was good, but before anyone could interject, Muffin runs to Uncle Stripe and says that she got money. Due to Uncle Stripe not knowing what happened, comments, "Oh, that's nice, Muffy," before offering to take her someplace where she could spend the money. Muffin accepts before saying goodbye to the healer family, but she addresses them by their personas they had during the game, which confuses Uncle Stripe. The final scene had Muffin and Uncle Stripe parking at some store, while Muffin was holding onto the money she took from Bandit and the old lady. They get out of the car before they stumble across a homeless dog who is in need of money. When Muffin saw this, her expression softens before she hands the homeless dog the money she held onto for the entire episode. There wasn't any dialogue in the scene, but there were some gestures that the homeless person was grateful for what Muffin did. The last bit of dialogue was where Uncle Stripe said, "You did the right thing, Muffy." The two exchange a smile before getting back in their car and driving off into the sunset. I know this is a very sketchy concept and execution for a Bluey episode, but this was originally going to be planned. Now, why did the episode get scrapped? It's more because I forgot where I placed the script since my desk is quite unorderly. However, I did manage to find a picture I took of one of the scripts with a sketch of Muffin on a sticky note. If I can't find the script, I could use this article as a reference when talking to Joe Brum, if he doesn't have a copy on his computer. Wish me luck, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, because there are more chilling tales to be told. Also, check out my other social media profiles. The links for those are down in the description. Thanks for listening.